Welcome to the All About You podcast. Today's podcast is just me, just doing a little roundup of what's been happening in 2025. Well, I started this podcast on the 6th of December 2020. I cannot believe it's been going so long, which is absolutely fantastic, and I love every single moment of it. So this year, 25 podcasts have been released. And I get so many people ask me, why do I have a podcast? I have to say, having a podcast is one of the best things I've ever done. And the idea of the podcast is to educate, motivate and inspire people to research things, go and see a medical professional if they've got a concern about something, or to try something different, dip their toe in a different pond, just try something different. And for me, this is just so rewarding, the conversations I have with people. Nobody is boring. Every single person has a story. And those stories are just remarkable. And I just want to go through some of the topics and the guests that I've had on the podcast this year. It's been quite an incredible year in respect of podcasts about people's challenges with their health. We started off early in the year with Joe. He was talking about his story of being very, very young when he was diagnosed with leukemia. Marla came on the podcast. Marla's story is just incredible about not being defined by her illness of having a tumour, how she has accepted what's happened to her and how she's moving forward in her life, which is actually incredible. And just recently I did a podcast with a lady called Risa. Risa is a human dynamo. She runs her home business, she's an iron woman, and she told her incredible story of finally, after so many conversations with medical professionals who ignored her, she was proved right. She did have a tumour in her brain. She's had lots of surgery. She's going forward in a different way in her life. And I have to say, at the end of the conversation, we were both in tears. That has really remained with me, that podcast. People ask me, do I have a favourite? And I say no. Some podcasts, and I think particularly the ones to do with people's health challenges, I'm in awe of those guests who come on and talk about their challenges with their health. And from my point of view, if one person hears that conversation and goes to speak to a medical professional about a concern they've got and they get the help they need, then that is just amazing. One conversation from somebody else can make a huge difference in someone's life. So I'm so grateful to all my guests, but particularly the guests who talk about health challenges. Health is wealth. We've also had some amazing people who created their own businesses. Tanviri, being a business coach to help other people to reach their goals. Ane, the return supporter, helping people that have left their home country and becoming a different person. And Christine, who started her own business No Solo, where people who are travelling the world can meet with other solo travellers for a lunch or a dinner and make those connections. And we've had some incredible people talking about their hobbies and passions. Abigail came on talking about the 75 Hard Challenge, which I think was absolutely remarkable. And it's something she's carried on into her life, which I think is just fantastic. Kate, we did a two-parter with Kate about the menopause. Absolutely amazing. A lot of very, very useful information. And also Carolina with self-care. Again, another two-parter. I have to say I love a two-parter because trying to get all the information into one podcast sometimes just doesn't work. And I think particularly when you're talking about health and wellness, we need to get that information out. Nikki came on talking about living in a cave. I mean, who knew? I certainly didn't. And Andrea came on to talk about AI. AI is everywhere now. Whether you're using AI, whether you love it, whether you're frightened of it, really listen to that podcast, because I think you'll feel a little bit better. So what surprised me most this year in 2025 about having a podcast? People often ask me, where do I find my guests? When I meet people, I guess I've always got my podcaster hat on when people talking about their travels or their job. I approach a lot of people to be a guest on the podcast. But this year, so many people have been reaching out to me, which is absolutely amazing. How these people find my podcast, I have no idea. People from all over the world. And that has really been something that has been amazing to me. So yeah, really, really happy with that. Nobody is boring, because when I talk to people about the possibility of being a guest, I hear time and time again, oh, I'm boring. I haven't got anything interesting to say. Oh, I couldn't talk about myself. When you get talking to those people, those are often the conversations that are absolutely incredible. I am so grateful to all the guests that have been on the podcast. When you're listening to podcasts, I'm sure you're thinking, yeah, I could talk about something that I'm interested in, a passion of mine, or a travel, or something that floats my boat. Please, please, please get in touch with me. Drop me an email. Contact me on allaboutyoupodcast@yahoo.com, and let's get you on the podcast. I plan to keep doing this podcast for as long as I'm physically able to do so. Always, always happy to hear from a guest. I really just want to thank everybody that has listened to the podcast. I want to say a huge thank you to all the amazing guests that have been on my podcast this year and in previous years. Every single guest just blows my mind. We have laughed, we have cried, and we have been educated. That just makes my heart overflow, because if somebody else is inspired to do something, get a health check, dip their toe into a new interest, and take on a new experience, that just opens my heart and just makes me so happy. So just thank you to all the guests. Thank you to everyone who has been listening this year. And I wish you all health, wealth and happiness in 2026. And I look forward to seeing you in 2026 with some amazing new guests and conversations. Happy New Year.